Hello everyone and welcome to the quarterfinals of the Fastest Chaos Deathmatch Tournament. If this is the first time you're watching one of the games of the Fastest Chaos Deathmatch Tournament, just a quick introduction and then we'll hop right into the game as two knights. Although right as I'm looking at the top of my screen, it does not look like knights at all. This is Sir Bertrand. Sir spelled in maybe a George R.R. Martin Game of Thrones kind of way. But in any event, it looks like both players starting with hero units. It looks like FreakinAndy here is already getting... No, never mind. Maybe he will at the end of the day. No, he still does not manage to get a villager kill. Hero units super fun in the beginning of the game as opposed to standard Hussar or Light Cav, or if you are the Teutons, even a Scout Cavalry unit, which are not very good at scouting. Look at Nili. So amazing with microing his villagers and doesn't want to lose a single one at the moment. But I am getting very much ahead of myself. Why don't I introduce the players, then the tournament, then if this is the first time you're watching Deathmatch, what the hell exactly Deathmatch is. So the first, we've got the players, FreakinAndy as the Bulgarians in orange, Nili as the Teutons in teal. Now we are, as I mentioned, watching the quarterfinals after many a battle, many deaths of lots and lots of units, all across different maps. Oh, finally a villager kill. Finally a villager kill here for Nili. Yeah, he gets his first villager kill. Yeah, he does. But in any event, we are down to the top 8 players, FreakinAndy and Nili being the first ones to play the quarterfinals. The Fastest Chaos is a deathmatch tournament played on a hyper random set of maps, which makes it very hard for a caster because the action starts immediately. And so zooming out like this to take a look at the map, which has a lot of choke points, which could be good for both of these civilizations, actually, in my opinion. But in any event, if you are not familiar with what deathmatch is, it is a version of Age of Empires that starts in Imperial Age with all of your technologies researched, all of your upgrades already done, which is why you'll see both players starting with top of the line units with top of the line upgrades. For example, the Conics already come with stirrups, siege onagers already coming with siege engineers, and so forth and so on. Deathmatch, you start with 55,000 resources, 20,000 wood, 20,000 food, 10,000 gold, and 5,000 stone. Now that does sound like a lot. It sure does, but take a look at their resources now, 5 minutes into the game. Both of them have almost no gold. Both of them are running very low on stone, as FreakinAndy here playing as the Bulgarians pushes into our Teuton. Now these are two pretty tanky civilizations. Not only does one side have basically an impervious unit, impervious to everything except siege onagers, the Teutonic Knight, the other one has the Conic, which is basically 2 units for the price of 1. And let's take a look. Always fun to look at the resource patches because they never quite make sense on a super hyper random set of maps. For example, this gold mine has 1255 gold a piece, and then a random gold mine here has 315 gold in it. These Bulgarian onagers are just absolutely wrecking the Teutonic Knights as they struggle to close in. I mean, these aren't Korean onagers with one minimum range, I should say, but they are getting the job done. Looks like a bit of a backstab here out of Chris, whose Conics get killed, become dismounted, and are actually doing not a terrible job at taking out some Teutonic Knights. Like I said, these are two civs with pretty good siege, with pretty good tanky units. One with, like, let's take a look at the armor of the Teutonic Knight. 13 melee armor, 6 pierce, and the Conic, again, is a unit that when the horse dies, he dismounts and then fights with his little flail or Morningstar, etc. It looks like the map is literally carved in half as both players begin expanding their economies. I am super excited. The level of gameplay should be pretty damn fantastic. We are down, like I said, to our best 8 players of this tournament, and we'll see how things shape up. Deathmatch is one of these things where games either last 5 to 10 minutes, or they last like 60 minutes, or they last potentially even 2 hours. There's no in between. There's no 41-minute game or 39-minute game. Anyway, I'm just talking a bunch of nonsense. Let's just watch the game unfold. It all depends on the economic micro of the players. It looks like both of them sitting on the same villager count. It looks like Teutonic armies do outnumber the Bulgarian army count, as a Treb manages to get a siege onager. Always fun, always fantastic when you can get that. But our Teuton here is down to just one Treb. Is that going to be a problem? Maybe, maybe not. There's 4 bombard cannons on the way, but there's already some Bilbo Baggins two-handed swordsmen. I saw you poking your heavily armored face. Oh, never mind. They all died. Okay. So Bilbo Baggins adding the extra melee armor to those two-handed swordsmen does make them pretty great. Okay, I missed a second volley there, but a volley from the other onager does manage to get it, and this is probably the cockiest spearman line unit in the game, taking on a Teutonic Knight who has enough armor to basically mean that that spearman tickles him. I mean, I keep saying spearman, it is a halberdier, but it doesn't really matter. It might as well be a spearman when he's taking on armor that goes up to 13. Now, FreakinAndy has to be careful. If he onagers these Teutonic Knights here, he's going to get his own Trebs or his Conics. So these Teutonic Knights have closed, which means they're going to cause potentially huge trouble, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. FreakinAndy just killed a whole bunch of his own units. Nili is out of resources, he's out of food, he's out of gold, he has enough stone for one more castle. Both players now in the high 80s, low 90s in terms of villager count. We are settling in at the 13-minute mark of the game. Oh, fantastic attack round there. But Nili's getting attacked. Oh, takes out his own siege onager with a few friendly fire balls, rocks, whatever the hell they are. What are you? 3 random Teutonic Knights just hanging out in the corner of the map. The players disengage, which might be a good time to look at their bases, because I feel like these are 2 fantastic bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can just do this actually. 10 town centers for our Bulgarian, 12 for our Teuton, who now outnumbers his opponent by about 15 extra villagers, both of them with a healthy idle count, because deathmatch, you jump right into the chaos, the fastest chaos, I should say, no pun intended. And so microing your villagers is really an impossible task. So anytime these games happen, especially when we get to this level of the top 8, man, is it impressive to watch them play. A few Hussars are out. Remember, with stirrups, they attack lightning fast. Look at that. They attack as fast as a frickin' Mangudai with a 1.4 second delay. Is just, I mean, bonkers. Such a crazy feature. The knights close in. Will they get the Treb? No, the castle is enough to take down that Teutonic Knight. And yet another stalemate, but will the bombard cannons manage to do what the Teutonic Knights failed to do? Yes, they do. They get the Treb. Not too sure what the hell that attack round was out of FreakinAndy, but I'm sure he is microing about a billion things at once. Hussars are closing, and I'm assuming these Hussars are probably trying to draw friendly onager fire just like that. Throwing a bit of food away for gold-intensive units. Andy ahead in the gold count. He's down in food. He's down in wood. He does have 3,000 stone. Why am I not seeing about a billion Kreposts out on the map? How many Kreposts are actually here? Only 5. And 3 castles. Okay. He's training, going full on Hussars at the moment. No more Conics. No more Halberdiers. Army counts not very high for either player. 46 for our Bulgarian, 34 for our Teuton. But the 34, there's still 8 Teutonic Knights, which, by the way, 8 Teutonic Knights can kill 32 Halberdiers and 13 Hussars. Maybe not at once. Maybe they take out the Halberdiers first and then the Hussars. I mean, look at how little damage is being done to these Teutonic Knights. It's just ridiculous unit. Just an absolute ridiculous unit. Unfortunately for Nili, 10% of his army is right here. Just kind of hanging out, taking in the scenery. Ooh, attack round misses. Hussars close, but now we've got some Halberdiers from our Teuton with the extra melee armor. 5 melee on these guys. 20 Hussars being trained and en route for our Bulgarian. To the right side of the map, but Krepos is trying to lame a bit of farming here. Looks like a lot of bamboo, a lot of pine, and a very thin layer that can be easily cut through. But both players firmly fixed on the center of the map as Nili begins to push in with these redonkulous 13 range crenellation castles. Hussars trying to move in. They see a whole bunch of halberdiers, and then they get the hell out of here. Oh my god, are they going to head straight for these Teutonic Knights? No, they stop, and then they yo-yo right back around. Nili's Trebs are a little bit exposed. There's halberdiers here, but the Trebs will be able to, or rather the onagers will be able to take a good shot. One Treb falls, a second Treb about to fall as well. The third will be safe. Probably that onager should have gone for the southernmost Treb, because the one in the middle I see was being attacked by these guys up here. So they could have gotten that. Oh, flattened. Pancaked. Go the halberdiers. What is happening here? And now finally Andy decides to cut through the forest, cut through the bullshit, and goes into the side of Nili's base with a whole bunch of hussars about to sideswipe him. But look at these Teutonic Knights just kind of wandering around. They just refuse to die. And what is here to deal with them? Okay, Kreposts are not going to be terrible. 14 attack against, we saw 6 pierce armor. But what the hell do you do against so many town centers? Remember, they can garrison extra villagers, so 25. I believe the extra villagers do add 5 extra arrows when it's fully garrisoned. Dodging and diving and dipping and ducking. The onager shots are these 4 bombard cannons out of Nili. 7 friendly kills. Oh, that's not good. That's about 25% of the kills are friendly. Teutonic Knights yet again moving in. And now the hussars are all dead meat. It looks like a bunch of them are just kind of standing around. This poor horse, his ass is getting attacked by this onager, tickling away at his HP. Oh, now this one's getting damaged too. 24. Oh my god, 23. Poor horses. What the hell does FreakinAndy have against the wildlife of this map? But attack rounds out of the bombards are also kind of just hanging out, keeping these onagers away. But the onagers move at the perfect time. It's like when you play God of War and you have to time Kratos moving left or right as he flies through that tunnel once he gets the Icarus wings, or any other of the puzzles. You kind of have to time it so he doesn't die, or maybe Uncharted. But while I talk about games unrelated to this, it is Nili who takes game number 1 here in resounding fashion. Although take a look at the kill count. Almost identical, about 5% kill difference is pretty damn impressive after a 24-minute game. Mostly halberdiers for both players. Peak APM right at the beginning, no surprise there. Peak APM kind of 10 minutes in. Okay, so while he was defending against FreakinAndy's push, the economy's not the greatest, not really getting up and running. 2 relics for our Bulgarian. 1 relic that he, I guess, just got about a second ago for Nili, who leads in food and gold, which is why we got to see so many Teutonic Knights, and his opponent leading in wood and stone, which I guess is why we got to see, I don't really know what we got to see out of our Bulgarian. A bit of a hodgepodge army here, and there's the Bilbo Baggins. Let's compare the stats, by the way. I've always wanted to do this. Side by side, a Teutonic Knight and a 2-handed swordsman. 21 attack, 16 attack. 13 armor to 9. Movement speed a little bit quicker. Attack speed should be 2 for both. But the extra HP, I mean, I always call these Bilbo Baggins Bulgarian 2-handed swordsman mini Teutonic Knights, and I stand by that. Only 5 less attack, only 4 less armor, but 40 HP difference really is the kicker. I mean, 100 HP on a unit that's already this tanky is pretty bonkers. In any event, our Teuton overwhelms FreakinAndy, who dies with 2,500 stone in the bank. So, could have built a bunch more Krepos, at least delayed some of this push out of our Teuton, who had really only just 1 Treb here. Now, Krepos fully upgraded here would have absolutely, I mean, 4 or 5 of them would have absolutely wrecked those Teutonic Knights, because, again, they attack on a 14, and these Teutonic Knights only have 6 pierce armor. So 8 damage per arrow is pretty damn good. I mean, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, maybe 1 here. I think the one over here got knocked down fairly quickly. But yeah, there was just 1 Treb here. That being said, man, we've seen raids with elephants. We've seen raids with scorpions, but this is the first time we're seeing raids with Teutonic Knights. That is absolutely badass. And with those Teutonic Knights, Nili takes game number 1. Let's move on to game number 2 of this first set of the quarterfinals of the fastest Chaos Deathmatch tournament. Game number 2 finds us in a land that is very familiar to a Canadian, being full of ice, snow, and what looks like snowy pines. A lot of very thin ice for some good ice fishing here in the center of the map. FreakinAndy, again in orange. The 2 bushes underneath the town center tell us rather that it is the Gurjaras that he is playing as, and immediately 5 docks. Ooh, Nili sees the villager heading out, will attack straight into it. Oh, and it looks like everyone started with a caravel? How did our Gurjara train a caravel? And why does it have 46 HP? I guess it killed the opponent's caravel while I was blabbing on making fun of Canadian winters. In any event, Nili this time as the Turks, a very, very unfortunate civ matchup for our Turk in teal. I mean, the Gurjaras, I'm expecting them to basically steamroll over the Turks. Literally everything that the Gurjaras need can be trained right here. Not only are they trained a little bit faster, but their camels come with extra bonus attack against cavalry. I mean, plus 25, ridiculous. And if our Turk, as he's doing it, going gunpowder, I'm assuming this castle is for Janissaries, then Shrivamshas will just come out and absolutely wreck. So let me know if you agree, disagree, but this seems like a bit of an unfair civ matchup for our Turk. That being said, never discount Nili, never discount the Turks. Man, can they blow a hole through the head of your civilization. Let's take a look at the map, because there is a lot of craziness on this map right now. Galleons are coming out for our Gurjara, who is housed at 50. Demos might be an issue here as well, because there is some thin ice, literally, where the players might have to be very careful. And missed opportunity there by Nili. Could have taken down a few camels straight to hell. Looks like he blew up without really doing too much damage. Our Turk, what is he building? Janissaries, camels of his own. Now remember, camel versus camel, they do still get bonuses against each other. 9 for the Turk, but take a look at this. 13. Ooh, for our Gurjara, who might switch to Shrivamsha. Remember, Kshatriyas is technically already researched, so his units are going to cost 25% less food. Siege elephants are out. Galleons, we saw heavy demo ships for our Gurjara are going to start making an appearance as well. And yet again, FreakinAndy is the one who pushes out into the middle of the map first with a very aggressive castle next to these snowy pines. Army count, he has literally double the army count of the Turk, despite the fact that the Turk is getting a good amount of damage done with these demo ships. Let's see how this fight unfolds. Oh, he blocks himself a little bit there. Oh, Nili, your demo doesn't know what to do. It's going after the camels. Where's it going? Oh, it ultimately dies. A little bit of confusion there, but a follow-up. Okay, Nili's 2 demos take down 3 demos and a bunch of other camels. Artillery bombard cannons are going to fire on the galleons as best they can, but the camels absolutely overwhelm. Like I said, not exactly a fair matchup. Camel v camel when one camel who comes with a whole bunch of bonuses. And oh my god, why did you run away? Why the hell did you run away? Are you relying on your camels? Do camels get attack bonus against ships, he asks, being the caster of this game. Yes, they do, 9, which means the Gurjara camel should have an even bigger attack bonus, plus 13 against ships. The Janissaries are out. I don't see any Shrivamshas being trained. Instead, I see cannon galleons heading over, but even more boomy boys are on the way. But boom versus boom leaves the whole world boomed. Oh, Nili's getting the better of these trades, to be honest. How many docks does he have? 7 docks. Oh man, to the 9, 8? Yeah, 9, I can count. Camels surround the elephants. They will absolutely wreck these elephants, but in come the orange demo ships and absolutely wreck those camels. Now, that last one was probably not necessary. 1 demo for 1 camel when a whole bunch of other camels are showing up. Neither player really wanting to sideswipe the other, just like game number 1. For now, we have a full frontal attack. Trebs, bombard cannon, cannon galleons for one side. Demo ships, cannon, bombard cannons, and Janissaries for the other. Nili is out of gold. Remember, his gold miners do work faster. How many villagers? Only 11 on gold. Both of them with very low economies at the moment. Firmly focused. Oh, what a missed opportunity by Nili to get some of these camels. Look at their freaking HP. It's down 2/3. Oh, but he's targeting the cannon galleons. And the chunky boy elephants. FreakinAndy stops him with a bit of demo play himself, but is unable to save all of the units. That being said, he saved 2 of his cannon galleons, which for now is going to be a very big problem for Nili, because he doesn't have the range right now to deal with them. Where are his bombards? They are back here. They've got 14 range. I'm not sure they can reach the cannon galleons just yet. I mean, I say cannon galleons and then I highlight just the regular galleons. What are you guys doing hiding on the southern side of the hill, hidden from sight? And here we go. Just like last game, we've got a sideswipe. This time it's Nili. And what the hell are you? How the hell do we have penguins on this map? Welcome to Hyper Random. I don't know if the penguins are a regular fixture of normal gameplay, but for me, they are quite unique. And at the end of this game, oh, there's more adorable. I mean, what the hell is cuter than a freaking penguin? If you don't think penguins are cute, especially baby penguins, you need to go to a cardiologist because you have no heart beating in your chest. Penguins are pretty much the cutest thing in the world, after maybe a chinchilla. Ooh, will Nili notice? Will Nili notice? Yes, he does. But doesn't notice quick enough and die. They do. Oh, man. That was an unnecessary loss. And now he's starting to attack with only half. I'm reminded, by the way, if you... oh, my God. Oh, my God. His name just completely flew out of my mind. Who is... Oh, my goodness. I am really embarrassed right now. What's the name of that German director? The one who did Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. The one who talks like this. I want to see the child. Bring me the child. From Mandalorian. Oh my God. What the hell is his name? I'm gonna absolutely... This is all gonna make sense, by the way, my insane rambling. Oh my goodness, demos exploding everywhere. The castle is still standing. It is on the high ground. Demos do get one of the bombard cannons. Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog is the name of the director I'm thinking about. He did a documentary with the penguins that is just absolutely the most bonkers thing. There's one penguin who goes the wrong way and basically goes off into the interior of I don't know if it's a North or South Pole. I'm not smart enough to know where there are penguins. Antarctica, I'm assuming. And he just basically goes off the wrong way, and because of that, he's essentially just going to his death. And Werner Herzog, in his very heavy German accent, it gives one of the most insane monologues about this penguin, this adorable... It's one of these, you know, nihilistic... quintessentially 1970s German kind of everything is pointless, life is misery, nothing matters, everything is relative, that kind of thing. But at the same time, you see a very adorable little penguin kind of waddling left and right, and it's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, just look up in YouTube Werner Herzog penguin, and it's like a 2 or 3 minute clip where he's like, and the penguin will go off to die on his own, lost from his tribe forever, or something like that. It's hilarious. Anyway, Werner Herzog, a fantastic director. Bad Lieutenant, the remake that he did of the original Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel, the one with you guys know who I love, Nicolas Cage. Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans is one of the best movies of all time. That being said, FreakinAndy is the one now stabbing the side of Nili's base. Nili's up to 120 villagers, FreakinAndy 140. Both of them not really having any militaries to speak of. Definitely not land-based military, as the battle here firmly out of wood that floats, otherwise known as boats. And fantastic get there by Nili, whose attack rounds, I'm assuming that was an attack round, got 3 of those demos, and the galleons finished up the rest. He is holding with his superior naval prowess. Looks like FreakinAndy's intrusion into his side has been dealt with. Nili is now moving 2 villagers. We'll see what they're for. Builds a bit of a sneaky dock, but not really anywhere this dock... Actually, no, I can go through here. Okay, so he's trying to sideswipe the player who sideswiped him as he sideswipes him on the left. But he's got to be careful. These camels can't be allowed to close in here, especially not with demos, especially not when Nili's navy is so clumped. But the numbers are just not there for our Gurjara, who is struggling to deal with this. And I say the numbers aren't there. He has defender's advantage, which means he's reinforcing his army a lot quicker than Nili, and he still has this castle up. Holy moly. Nili, what the hell are you doing? What is this? For cannon galleons? I don't know about this. For galleons, period? Hussars from our Turk leading away a few camels, but remember, those camels with their insane attack bonus against cavalry will be able to deal with these Hussars quite handily. I mean, look at this absolute disgusting display here. Might as well be Teutonic Knights. And still the battle continues here to the center of the map. No player able to really push into the other. Both of them having to be very fearful of demos. Towers going up for our Gurjara as well. These arrows will help out. Plus 23 attack against ships. And he's even repairing them. Both players sitting on very healthy villager counts. FreakinAndy is supply capped at 200. Nili struggling to get there, but not struggling too badly. He's at 180. Let's take a look at resources. Nili yet again out of gold. This time FreakinAndy also out of gold. How much is in each patch here? 628. Okay, welcome to Hyper Random. What are our navies looking like? Nili is getting pushed back little by little, tile by tile. These towers are wrecking his navy right now. I mean, look at how quickly these guys die. I mean, these demos aren't even able to close. And as the ships retreat, the Trebs move forward. The tower creep probably will continue. One demo ship does kill a bunch of Hussars. Not great as the follow-up ones die. Stop being so cute, you damn penguin. You know, one of these days in 2024, when I open my Twitch channel, I think I'm gonna dedicate some of it to watching a bunch of silliness. I'm gonna make a note of all these random things that I'm talking about, like the Werner Herzog penguin story. And we're just gonna watch them all together, so you guys get a bit of a sense of my I was gonna say my tastes, but it's more accurately my insanity. Ooh, at this point, Nili is kind of feeding. His ships are making it to the front lines, but they're making it super bruised. Yeah, he's got to use his bombard cannons. He's got to use that 14 range on these artillery bombard cannons. Does anyone else get confused between artillery and rocketry? The Chinese upgrade that gives the Chukanus and the Scorpions extra attack? I don't know why those names always confuse me. I also don't know why he built demos here. But Nili going for a massive backstab. The problem for him, not a lot of infrastructure here, not a lot of relevant infrastructure. Most of it is here in the front of the Gurjara base, building these navies. And here we go, the creep, tile by tile. Holy shit, how many cannon galleons? 11 of them to the 2. I'll take 11 basic cannon galleons over 2 elite any day of the week. And Nili's navy, again, just taking a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there. By the time they do manage to close against Andy's army, his navy rather, they're already bruised and battered. The battle on thin ice continues. We are 28 minutes into the game. Both players sitting at healthy populations. 48 army count for our Gurjara, 57 for our Turk, who looks like he's about to get overrun here on Center Island, but he's built himself quite the infrastructure. What is he repairing? His stone count is going down. So what is he repairing? This castle? Yeah, this castle, but it ultimately does fall. There's a bit of stone or gold rather in the front here. Not that he can really mine it with these ships. So Nili doing a fantastic job gutting the back of Andy's base, the side of Andy's base as well. These Hussars will eventually die to the castle, but the real battle here to the front. Andy's army is now at 78. Nili is in one of these unfortunate situations where the more villagers of your opponent you kill, and he's killed about 30 villagers, the more army supply room you give your opponent. Oh, big push of the Bombi boys. Let's see it. A few of them die heading over there. A few of them die. Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And our Turk takes the army count lead. Holy shit, the army are identical. The civilian population is identical. Both of them in the 150 range of total population. Nili pulls a rabbit out of his hat. Out of his fez, I should say, and blows up that navy. Holy shit, that was fantastic. And at the same time continues to gut the economy. Nili here, despite being a lower score by about 20 or so percent, he's doing a pretty damn good job keeping Andy occupied by back at home. But Andy is not taking the bait. He is not falling for it. He is not moving backwards. His entire orientation is forward facing as the Trebs make landfall straight onto the island of his opponent. Demos have to mass yet again. You can't keep sending one at a time. How many does he have? 6, training a 7th. And all of Nili's harassment here in this base of the back of FreakinAndy's base, the side of FreakinAndy's base is done. He's managed to kill about 35 villagers, but he's lost the battle in the forward position of his base. By the way, I'm looking around the map on the mini-map. There's not a lot of precious resources anywhere outside the main base. This is not a very high resource intensive map. Should say resource full. And now, oh god, I was about to say Nili has no defense here. And wow, how many booms did we see? And yet again, take a look at the freaking kill count. Less than 5% difference in kills. Anytime you have a stat like that, I'm looking at total kills, not military and civilian separately, where Nili got triple the civilian kills of his opponent. But anytime you have kill counts that are this similar, less than 5% apart, you know that was a very hard fought battle. And look at Nili even placing a dock in the inner lake here with this villager. Immediately an elite cannon galleon comes out, but one cannon galleon is not going to do too much damage, not too quick anyway. What's their attack speed? Not that fast. 10 seconds between attacks, so very similar to a trebuchet, if not identical. Yeah, no, identical. 10-second delay. And Nili, despite having a few fancy moves here, just could not take the center. And our Gurjara, with how many? 12 towers, just tickles away at the HP again with that crazy plus 23 attack bonus against ships, and takes the game. 168 camels, 253 galleons. That's not something we see every day. PKPM towards the middle end of the game. PKPM right at the beginning of the game. How do we think the economy's? Wow, look at that. Economy is incredibly similar, and our Gurjara getting more gold than our Turk, which is not something you see every day. The Turks with their faster gold miners. Look at the stone. Both of them depleting their stone. How does one have one little rock more than the other? I have no idea, but 3,000 more food for our Gurjara, 7,000 more wood for our Turk, which explains why he got 253 ships. But FreakinAndy evens up the series, gets the first notch on his belt, withstood the side attack, withstood the rear attack, withstood the base penetration, and the attack into this town center from the original Hussars. And as promised, oh, I think these are Emperor Penguins, right? With those crests. I think these are Emperor Penguins. Now, here's a question to you. Why do the monkeys on the maps come with a 99 attack, a plus 99 attack, but these penguins only come with a plus 16 attack and 4 armor? The monkeys do 99, 99, 99. These guys do 16, 4, 4. I guess penguins are a little bit more peaceful than monkeys. I don't know. I don't think monkeys are very aggressive. I think only a few of them. I think it's really the chimpanzees that are, and the gorillas that are very territorial. You guys already heard my endless rants about the bonobos and how I hope I come back reincarnated as one. But yeah, in any event, the penguins are the weaker of the animals in the opinion of the developers of this game. Although what they lack in strength, I guess they make up in numbers. I don't really ever see like 1,000 monkeys in one place. It's usually just a troop of like 10 or 12. But penguins, you see thousands of them, and they will flip-flop their flippers all over your face. And with those flippers, it is FreakinAndy who takes game number 2. Let's see what game number 3 looks like, because so far we're having a pretty damn exciting series. Game number 3 takes us to a bit of a more arid land. We've seen this kind of start before, where everyone starts with a Feitoria, a market, and a trade card. It looks like Andy first to sell a bunch of resources, which is why if you take a look at the top right of your screen, he's got 12,500 gold. But in any event, Nili this time playing as the Berbers on the left side of the map, FreakinAndy as the Spanish. So we've got potentially a very interesting matchup here. The Camel Archer should do a fantastic job here, as should these cheaper camel units out of our Berber stables. Neutral market here in the center, very high. It looks on, I'm looking at the mini map, looks like a bit of a ziggurat. Although you look at it, it looks like a undiscovered ziggurat. This looks like what you sometimes run across photos on YouTube or on Instagram of this is what I don't know, I'm picking a random spot in Central and Latin America, Machu Picchu. This is what Machu Picchu looked like 150 years ago when it was first discovered, and then you see Machu Picchu all covered in vines and things like that. And then what Machu Picchu looks now when it's excavated and made pretty and restored to what it used to look like. Looks like the before picture, where there's a ziggurat under here, but it is covered by a whole bunch of dirt. Anyway, I am really going off tangent here. I don't know what the hell's going on with me right now. I just casted a game as well where I was just going on about the most random shit. I don't know what. Maybe I should take Adderall. I don't know. In any event, I expect a lot of camels out of our Berber, as I said. I expect paladins, and I expect conquistadors out of our Spaniard, who is pushing out into Nili for the third time this set. Andy doesn't look like he wants to do any trading at all, although he is training a second trade card and a third and a fourth. I mean, what is this for him? Oh, wow, a massive 5 gold. Now, what he can do, I guess, is delete this market and rebuild one somewhere here. What the hell is this? Reeds. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen reeds. They're very Egyptian looking. So I guess we're in Egypt with this central pyramid shape. A lot of, I guess the Nile wasn't very bountiful this year. And so the crocodiles have disappeared. There must be crocodiles on this map, right? I want to look, I see some dots moving around, but I don't see any wild animals per se. So let's see if the Spanish paladins can overwhelm the Berber camels for now. Backed up by the halberdiers, they very much do. Where are the conquistadors? Why are there only 8 conquistadors? Nili's forward castle falls. He's got 4 more. They are training Berber camel archers. I don't know why I said Berber. They're the only ones with camel archers non-stop. A bombard falls to the south. These basic onagers are moving forward. Uh-oh. Nili's got to be super careful here. He's created alleys, which is pretty good against melee cavalry and pretty shitty against onagers. The onager does get the bombard cannon. FreakinAndy's economy 10 villagers ahead. His army count double the size of our Berber, who finds himself pushed back into the narrow alleys of his original settlement and his original town center, I believe? Or is this his original town center? One of the 2 OG town centers has fallen, and oh no, Nili, you gotta be so careful here. His camels are trying to stop this, but a whole body block of orange units comes forward and stops him. FreakinAndy expanding more and more to the back. This is just rife for raiding. Nili doesn't have the economic numbers just yet. He's already mining gold. Only 2 villagers on wood, but his food and wood count is pretty damn healthy at 8,000. Andy's the one who's broke. That being said, he's broke with 10, no, not 10. 6 or 7 times the army count of his opponent. Oh no, he's finding a whole bunch of villagers to kill to the south. And now he's pushing in. He doesn't care that there's castles here. He doesn't care. 3 freaking castles. His army's HP is at 4,500. That's not that high that you can really push into 3, now 4 castles, but it doesn't matter. FreakinAndy takes it. Nili just gets absolutely overwhelmed. He must have really expected a huge conquistador push. Cav archers like conquistadors. By the way, I just want to make sure I'm right about that. Conquistadors must come with cav archer armor, right? Yeah, cavalry archer armor right there. These guys get a bonus attack against cavalry archers, +6, and their attack speed is 1.7 second delay. whereas the Conquistador is a much slower 2.9. So I think maybe Nili was expecting a lot more Conquistadors out on the map. Instead, what he gets is a Paladin Fist backed up by 60 Halberdiers. And okay, I mean, lucky number 13 Trebs here for FreakinAndy, who takes game number 3 in under 10 minutes. How many trade cards does he have? I want to see the trade, the stats for trade, because that's just going to make me laugh. 103 camels, 193. Yeah, Nili just, I want to say partly a Civ matchup, but mostly just army composition. Look at the peak APM is basically the same. One Andy right at the beginning of the game, and Nili about halfway through at the 5-minute mark. Trade. Look at that. 4 times or so more trade for our Spaniard. Not surprising there, but look at that. I mean, the resources aren't that high. Sub 5,000 for both players. This game never really got up and running. Our Spaniard just using those insanely powerful Spanish units to just plow through, and Nili's camels just couldn't get the job done, even though they were backed by these camel archers. 18 kills on 16 camel archers is not great at all. And look at the end of the day, 72 villagers to 16. Wow, that's literally 4 times more villagers than his opponent, and army count again about what, 6 or 7 times bigger. So our Berber just absolutely gets steamrolled. FreakinAndy takes game number 3. Let's see if Nili can make a comeback in game number 4, or if FreakinAndy will extend his lead. Remember, this is a best of 7, so you need 4 games to win. And speaking of the number 4, let's move on to that game. Game number 4 finds us back on a bit of an autumnal map here with a few beautiful red and green trees. Nili spawning at the bottom left as the Vietnamese in his usual teal. FreakinAndy back in orange as the Goths. Okay, I mean... These Civ matchups are definitely interesting. I mean, you've got the Huskarls on one end, which, by the way, can be trained out of barracks because Profusion and Anarchy are done, which mean that these barracks, 7 barracks for the Goths right now, is the equivalent of about 23 barracks for everyone else, because they all work more than 3 times faster. I want to see Huskarls on the other side of the map. I want to see Rattan Archers, although, I don't know. I'm probably not going to see Rattan Archers. Yeah, he's got to go cavalry. He's forget the Cavaliers. Get those pothead elephants. Get those 420 HP elephants. Your opponent knows your only option here is cavalry, so he is going heavy on the halberdiers to start. But now the Huskarls are out. Nili desperately wants to get a castle up. I don't know that he really needs this castle, to be honest. The Rattan Archer is the Huskarl of archers with 10 pierce armor on its own, but it is not a Mayan plumed archer, so it does not come with any kind of bonuses against infantry. Now, champions are not a bad move. You are missing Blast Furnace, so I wasn't really thinking to go champions. I just always want to see elephants, and yes, here we go. 10 battle elephants being readied for the Vietnamese, who are poking into the back of the base here, but they do find nothing but death and a few halberdiers, and yet again FreakinAndy is out, and he is training Rattan Archers. Now that is a very, very cocky move here out of our Vietnamese. Remember, Huskarls come with an insane +10 attack bonus against archers, unless I'm mistaken. +10 attack against archers against a unit that has 45 HP. But the elephants are out. Champions are going to clear up the Huskarls pretty damn good. Pretty damn well. Pretty damn effectively. Pretty damn good is not good English. But the follow-up of halberdiers, this is why you need your Rattans here to support. Now, call me crazy, but should he have gone Rattan, or should he have just gone skirmishers? Your archers are not going to be effective against a Huskarl no matter what you train. I mean, this Rattan Archer attacks on an 11 against 10 pierce armor, which means they do 1 damage. And a skirmisher would do the same damage to a Huskarl 1. And it's got 42 HP compared to 45, because remember, they get 20% more HP. Okay, so he agrees with me. Okay, so I'm not that crazy. Nili agrees with me. Says, you know what, I'm going to save my gold for my elephants. And then if you try to take my elephants down with these long, pointy sticks, I'm just going to gun you down with not my elite skirmisher, but my imperial skirmisher, which is a super fun, unique unit that the Vietnamese get. Look at how little damage this guy is doing. Oh my god, you're getting done to him. FreakinAndy, look at the Gothic swarm, the Gothic push. This is an absolute insane civilization. And because we're starting an Imperial, they do cap out at 210 population. So FreakinAndy still has 70 more units he can train. 70! By the way, his population is literally 3 times bigger than his opponent, who is struggling to keep these elephants alive. They are moving forward. They are going to get the trip. No, it survives with 15 HP. I think our Vietnamese needs to turtle up right now. You should not be splitting up your army a little bit here, a little bit here. This is the moment you go like this, and then you right click. I mean, it's a pretty desperate situation here for Nili. He has been absolutely pushed back. Like, again, you might say Civ win, but the Vietnamese are not without their defenses against the Goths. Oh yeah. I mean, what the hell do you do against the spam, the endless spam? How many barracks? Is it just the original 7? Yeah, just the original 7, but that's more than enough. Andy still has a bunch of resources. Nili has a whole bunch of resources. What he doesn't have is just time, space, or ability to do anything with those resources. His forward infrastructure has completely collapsed. His castles are now being attacked into. What could he have done, I guess? I don't know. I don't think he made any mistakes here, did Nili? I love the battle elephant play. What they lack in the missing blast furnace, they make up with 420 HP, the chunkiest of chunky boys outside of the Persian war elephant. The problem is for him, he did not target down these halberdiers well enough. And so he does have the Imperial Skirmisher. And remember, the Skirmishers got a buff to their attack against Spearmen. It used to be +3, now it's +4. So they could have done a fantastic job. But then you have to defend them against the Huskarls, which is where the elephants come in. So it really becomes a bit of a game of cat and mouse between these two civilizations, which is why I don't want to say it was a Civ win. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with Civ wins, but the Goths versus an Archer civilization, yeah, I get it. You know, the Goths versus any Archer civilization is a tough matchup. But the Vietnamese, like I said, not without their defenses. These chunky boys, he died with 9 of them still alive. Ultimately, though, look at the bases. Look at FreakinAndy's expansion, able to do whatever the hell he wants because he had pinned Nili back significantly, and he takes game number 4. He is 1 game away from taking the series champions versus Huskarls 200. I mean, what other civilization, except maybe Ethiopians spamming Shotel warriors, elite Shotel warriors, by the way, since one of the recent patches, 8 minutes into the game, has created 235 units out of his barracks. And that is all because of perfusion. That's all because these guys work 220% faster than any other generic barracks in the game. Actually, I shouldn't even say generic barracks. I don't think any other barracks comes with a speed, right? I don't think some civilizations have faster working monasteries, or a civilization has faster working monasteries. A civilization has a faster working stable. Yeah, no. I don't know what the hell my main point was. Should we even look at economy? It was an 8-minute game. This is hilarious. Nili didn't even manage to get 100 resources. He just could not get his economy up in time. That Gothic swarm, again, 7 barracks is the equivalent. Multiply that by 3.2. So what's 7 times 3.2? 22.4, I want to say. 22 barracks. From the first minute of the game, we're just pumping out infantry after infantry after infantry. And remember that infantry, because it's the Goths, is a third cheaper. They get discounts. They come with bonuses. They are designed to do exactly what you see them doing right now. And FreakinAndy still has room for 65 more of these units. And by the way, has the resources for a whole bunch more as well. So he takes game number 4. Nili on the verge of elimination. Will he even up the series? We've seen it happen before. Let's see if it happens in game number 5. Okay. This game, a bit of an arena meets fortress meets Empire Wars, I guess. Yeah, everyone started here, it looks like, with 5 villagers. And what the hell are you? You're just a fence. You're not even a palisade. You are just here to keep the cows out. Both players starting with top of the line light cavalry units, and both of these, by the way, elephant civilizations. Yeah, baby. We've got the Bengalis in orange by FreakinAndy to the south, who immediately moves forward and creeps up with a castle, having completely blinded Nili. Nili doesn't have any map presence at all right now. Not that he really needs it at the moment. He is walling and shoring himself up at home, going with halberdiers. He is playing as the Dravidians. Okay, so we've seen Hera play as the Dravidians. We've seen the Viper play as the Dravidians. Let's see Nili take on this super fun civilization as his first spearman line unit meets his death at the hands, or rather the big fat gray feet of these elephants. But the elephants, they got to be careful. You're trading out against halberdiers, even though you don't die. Look at your HP. I mean, okay, now you died to the next poke. Both players have the same exact idea. Both players want the center of the map for themselves. Our Dravidian going heavy on the siege onagers. He wants to do a few good attack rounds here. Interesting expansion off to the side here. Goldmine with a interesting 781 gold. Oh, I didn't notice that there's barely any gold inside these settlements themselves. Very interesting. 1376. Okay, well, there you go. Hyper random, like I said. I don't know these maps. The players don't know the maps. Nili destroys all of his fences. He says they do not make good neighbors. And so I am just going to push out with my siege onagers. I'm going to try to get some of these elephants of the opponent as his one villager here struggles to get the castle up, but he doesn't. The castle falls, and all of a sudden we've got a whole bunch of elephant archers moving forward for our Bengali. Oh, Nili needs to move back. Do not engage from the high ground. I mean, the champion's fine, but not the elephants. Not like this. You do not want to give them the benefit of that high ground. Urumis, champions, bombard cannons, trebs, halberdiers are all the order of the day for our teal Dravidian. Our Bengali, elephant archers, champions, and regular elephants are the order of the day. Let's see what happens here in front of Nili's base. Actually, you know what? I think I misspoke. Did I call them both elephant civilizations? Yeah, no, I don't think I would call the Dravidians necessarily. You know what? I was thinking of their elephant archers. The Dravidian elephant archers, I believe, attack as fast as a Mangudai. I mean, this game is much easier to cast. There's literally one path of attack here. Yeah, maybe I misspoke. I apologize. Or did I misspeak? Let me know what you think. Oh, damn. Really? Oh, wow. That was very unfortunate. I thought we were going to get to see a bit of more prolonged, especially since FreakinAndy was going elephant archers. Now, Dravidian elephant archers, again, I do believe attack at a 1.4 second delay compared to this 1.7. So they are the quicker attacking. I think they're the fastest attacking elephant archers in the game. Nili this time just takes a full frontal and ultimately cannot take on this elephant army. I mean, they're not the strongest units. They attack like a longbow, but look at their HP. 5,000 HP of elephants plus how many battle elephants? Yeah, look at that. 7,500 HP. Now, the Urumi swordsman comes with a pretty good charge attack. It also has does trample damage of pretty good, by the way, 0.8 tiles. I've said this before. That's a very good trample damage to the left and to the right of the unit compared to other units in this game that have 0.5 or I think even 0.3. But ultimately, even with a plus 19 attack right now, you are not, I shouldn't say plus 19. It's not all charge attack, but you're not going to take on an elephant with 320 HP. But ultimately, FreakinAndy with the chunky boys, you love to see them. Okay. Now, Woot's Steel for our Dravidian, did it play a role here? I'm not too sure. Should Nili have just gone full on infantry? I think he kind of did. Champions, halberdiers, and Urumi swordsmen, the siege onagers, I think they just took a few bad engagements here. They got the champion, the front row, which is, you can see the champion's shirts on the ground. A lot of champion shirts on the ground, or whatever the hell the name of this, this kind of like thing they drape over themselves, a curtain. I don't know what the hell to call it. I'm sure there's a fancy schmancy medieval name for it. But against the elephant archers, I think he would have been better served just retreating a little bit, getting them at least on the low ground, and then using the onagers to try to attack them. He got good connects. Don't get me wrong. I'm not critiquing the connects. I think they would have just done a lot more damage had he backed up just a few tiles, draw your enemy into the castle fire, and then the onagers could have absolutely wrecked these archers, especially when backed by Woot's steel infantry. That being said, I mean, look at the expansion out of our Bengali. He is to the right. He is to the left. Nili is expanding as well, right next to these two massive gold piles. How much gold is in here? I want to zoom in so I don't get any other. 5,300. Okay, so not much more than the standard would have been, I don't think, but actually less than the standard would have been, right? Yeah, less than the standard would have been. But in any event, it is FreakinAndy who takes game number 5, and with it, a 4-game winning streak. Nili took the first game, but after that, he just kept getting... I think the second game was the one I said was a bad Civ matchup, the Turks versus the Gurjaras. And then after that, FreakinAndy just didn't let Nili have a moment's rest. He was just on the aggressive the entire beginning of every game 3, 4, and 5. And with these awesome red Bengali castles, he moves in. He absolutely crushes this army that Nili had assembled in the forward position of his base. And even with Woot's steel, I wish we would have seen elephant. I don't know why when I think Dravidians, I know they're very much an infantry civilization, but the first thing that jumps into my mind, ignore Woot's steel, which is silly because one of the best upgrades in the game, hands down, probably top 5 best upgrades in the game. My mind just goes immediately to those elephant archers that attack faster. Unless I'm thinking of a completely different civilization. It has been a very long day for me. Hold on, I'm just going to check my notes real quick. It's the Dravidians, right? Yeah, their skirmishers and their elephant archers attack 25% faster. Sorry, guys, I don't really do this very often where I have to, like, stop in the middle of a cast and check my notes, although... the game is over, and I just don't want to sound like an idiot, which sometimes I do. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'll say sometimes. You ask my wife, she'll probably say most times, but it is what it is. And ultimately, what it is our Bengali FreakinAndy takes the game, and with it, the set. So the first of our quarterfinals, top 8 players, Nili gets knocked out. FreakinAndy advances with a 4-1. I mean... do we even want to look at the economy? 74 champions, 79 halberdiers. I mean, we know we know where that goes. I mean, both of these players. Nili literally did not have a moment's rest. Actually, what is the APM for both players? Both at the roughly at the same time in the game, although in a 6.5 minute game, not exactly a lot of the diversity of timeline to get peak APM. It's such a short game. But look at the never-ending Bengali push. We've seen them do this in other deathmatch games in the fastest chaos. They just establish themselves, and then they just go. They're like the Goths in that sense. They're just pushing, and man, oh man, can they crush through an enemy. And in this case, they crush right through the Dravidian base, and with that crushage, FreakinAndy moves on to the next stage. So the first set of the game, the quarterfinals, is pretty damn interesting. And I had a fantastic time casting it. And yeah, I at the time I'm casting this, I don't really know if I'm going to cast a second set or if I'm going to make this a standalone premiere on its own. But in the event that I do, and this is the last game of the evening, I thank you. Evening for me, I should say. Morning or afternoon for some of you watching. I should say thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Again, the fastest Chaos Deathmatch Tournament, which I am co-hosting, is a fun deathmatch tournament. I hope you get a little bit of sense of what this deathmatch version of Age of Empires is all about, especially when you start with so many resources. But as we saw, they don't last very long. The players go broke very quick unless they can get their economies up and running very fast. And it is FreakinAndy, the first quarterfinalist who advances to the next round. And I hope everyone will join me in the next cast, whether it's happening immediately after I finish this sentence or if it's happening immediately in a few days or a week or so, because I just expect the gameplay to get better and better and better as the field gets smaller and smaller, and all eyes are fixed firmly on the prize. And with that, I will say thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, liking. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, enable notifications, all that good YouTube stuff. Help me with the you know, that mysterious YouTube algorithm, that Wizard of Oz algorithm that governs everything that exists in this world. And until we meet again, good luck, have fun, and GG to both of these awesome players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.